TFA fam, welcome into the Sunday version of the Start Sit Show. Already got some questions pouring into the chat. If you have any, go ahead and drop them in. Hope you guys are having a fantastic weekend. Let's jump into the Week 9 injury report. First and foremost, we do have some heavy hitters that are out this week, including Jonathan Taylor, Keenan Allen, Darren Waller, Damian Harris, Gus Edwards, and Mark Andrews. In terms of the heavy hitters, we do have some defensive players that are going to be missing as well. Marshawn Lattimore is going to be out once again. Chidobe Awuzie was placed on IR for the Bengals, and the Bengals are also going to be missing DJ Reader as well, which should help out Deonta Foreman in that run game. James Robinson looks like he's going to go. Kind of like a game time decision with him. Jarvis Landry should be able to go, I believe. Hopefully you're not counting on him. Got in limited sessions all week, and coming on the heels of the Michael Thomas news, they could definitely use him. James Conner expected to go. He is going to give it a try, I guess, in warm-ups beforehand, but he seems like he should be ready. DeAndre Swift going to play, but again, this is going to be a situation like last week where he is limited in his opportunity. So want to keep an eye on that. Cam Akers looks like he is going to play, and reports are that his involvement is just going to ramp up in the coming weeks. Still not a great situation there with that offense and that offensive line. And then Cordarrelle Patterson making his return to the Falcons. Kev, jump right into it, man. Our guy RD with the first question of the morning. What's good, fellas? Need a solid flex, full PPR, Olave, Eno, or Foreman?
I'm gonna go Olave here.
Yeah, I like Olave in this spot. Deonta Foreman just being on the run that he's on, like I said, does certainly help that DJ Reader is going to be missing this one. But I think this is a spot where the Bengals could bounce back and force them into a more pass-heavy script. And that's why we like DJ Moore a lot this week. TFA's own D-Bro rocking with us. Start 2 running backs, 1 flex. We have Swift, Jamal Williams, Khalil Herbert, Pittman, and Curtis Samuel. You doubling down on the Detroit guys there, Kev? I don't want to, but I have both of them ranked ahead of Herbert this week.
I have Swift and Herbert is who I have. I have Herbert ahead of Jamal Williams, but it's tough to trust Swift with the not really knowing how much he's actually going to play. They said he's going to be limited, so I think I would go Swift and Herbert and Pittman in the flex.
Yeah, and I would go Williams, Herbert, and Pittman. Bing bong. Deion Jackson over Mostert. I would not. I'm going Mostert.
I would. I love Deion Jackson this week. He's like a top 14. I think I have him at 13 with this matchup that they're getting today. It's not even so much of that I think that he's going to be excellent on the ground. It's that we saw the last time that he started without Nyheim Hines, he had 10 targets in that game, and I don't think anything's going to change here with that. Jonathan Taylor's out. Obviously, Nyheim Hines, he traded Buffalo. Zach Moss doesn't matter to me. And so I think that he's going to be the lead back, and he's going to get all the pass catching usage as well. And so I love Deion Jackson this week. I think he's a pretty strong start.
Yeah, I mentioned this in the Discord earlier. Someone had a question with Deion Jackson. The only thing that worries me in this situation is Ehlinger at quarterback versus Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan was like a top 3, top 5 quarterback in terms of target share and running backs, and I don't know what to expect with Ehlinger.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like last week. I mean, it was pretty disappointing. I mean, he really didn't do a whole lot on the ground. It's not like he was looking to run and he was doing all these design runs and stuff like that. So it really doesn't worry me all that much. Like I think he's going to be really heavily involved um, in this backfield, and I mean he could end up with 70 or 80% of the running back opportunities from this backfield.
So we couldn't help you out there on that one, Bing Bong. How about this one? Conklin over Higbee.
I'm not buying into the one game hype of what he just did last week, so I would still go Tyler Higbee here.
I would go Higbee as well. I mean, it certainly helps that Corey Davis is out. Again, he was one that I missed on the sheet that just popped into my head. Corey Davis will be missing, but yeah, I don't want to chase the from what happened last week. So I'm going to go Higbee as well.
If it like the tight end that I would want more than anything, if he's sitting out there, which he was widely available heading into this week, was Isaiah Likely. If he's any chance of sitting out there, I have Isaiah Likely ranked second overall, number 2 tight end. So like, there's not a tight end not named Travis Kelce that I wouldn't start him over.
Yeah, I like Likely a lot this week as well. And if you watch the Sunday show, the Sunday waiver show, which will be going again live tonight for at halftime of the Sunday night football game, I mentioned him. I brought up Isaiah Likely and brought up the fact that Andrew's been banged up. Now he's dealing with a second injury, and we also have the Ravens with a bye week next week. So hopefully you were ahead of that. I picked up Likely this morning. I wasn't expecting him to be available, but he was, and I picked him up, and I'm playing him over Cade Otton, who I had in there. We need to sit one here for Mason, Kamara, Aaron Jones, Etienne, or Stevenson. That is what they would call a stacked group, Kev. Who are you sitting here?
Yeah, that's very nice. Guess I would sit Ramondre Stevenson. Like, I have all of these ranked inside the top 6, all 4 of them. I have Kamara at 2, Travis Etienne at 3, Aaron Jones at 5, and Ramondre Stevenson at 6.
Yeah, I have Stevenson ranked the lowest out of this group as well.
Like, if you wanted to go, like, the only thing with Aaron Jones would be just the fact of, especially with playing the Lions, do they get up early and then just start running the ball a lot more, and you see more AJ Dillon, where Ramondre Stevenson no longer has to worry about that with Damian Harris rolled out. Because I actually had Stevenson around 10, I think, before, or 9, and then I moved him up to 6. And so that would be the only, if you're really, because it's really splitting hairs between these 4. All of them are in great spots this week. But if I was really going to if you really wanted to go one way or the other, Stevenson, I could slightly lean over Aaron Jones if you wanted to, just based off that.
Yeah, I'm still going to stick with Stevenson, but it's a good problem to have.
Oh, for sure.
CHB, which quarterback should I start? Geno, Fields, or Mariota?
This is Justin Fields for me.
I'm going Geno, but it is close. Mariota is the clear last quarterback here. It's definitely between Geno and Fields. I know Fields has been tearing it up over the past couple of weeks. I think at least 17 fantasy points in three straight games.
It's 17 and 4 straight, 19 over the last 3, and then he scored 20 plus over the last 2. So, and then this is how you beat Miami. You have to beat him through the air. But his design running is also going to help him. And I think actually Chase Claypool is going to help this offense as well. He's expected to play this week. So I think that just helps him out even more. And so this game has like some shootout potential to it. And I love Justin Fields. Like, I'm playing him all over the place in DFS. I'm playing him like I have him at 8 this week. And I have Geno Smith at 12.
Yeah, I just slightly lean Geno. Very, very close to me, though. The Gurus podcast with Swifty being officially limited. Are you going Palmer or Swift at flex?
I think I'm going to go Palmer.
I lean Palmer as well. I mean, I know he's been disappointing. He was someone that we talked, or Kev, especially you, talked a ton about in the offseason. And, we're just like, hey, just wait. If there's an injury, which there could be, Palmer's going to pop off. There's been tons of injuries between Keenan and now Mike Williams, and Palmer has still been, mediocre. I think he had that one solid game. Definitely hasn't been playing to what we thought he would, but I'm still going Palmer here. I think Atlanta could push the Chargers into a little bit more of a pass heavier script than what people are thinking.
Yeah. Actually, I think the Falcons are now favored in that game.
Wow.
So it has one of the highest totals on the slate, or this weekend's slate of games. Actually, it has the highest, or no, it has the second highest slate. But it has a really high implied point total. The Chargers are up there within the top 6 in terms of implied point totals as well. So I like this matchup.
CHB, should I drop Kyren Williams for Tyquan Thornton? I think you could.
I mean, you can, but I still like the Cam Akers thing is whatever to me, that he's coming back, but I still want to see what they're going to do with Kyren Williams once he's activated, because I mean, it was reported that he was going to have a big role before all this stuff happened, that he was going to have a big role in this offense, and it wouldn't shock me one bit if Kyren Williams were to take over this backfield at some point and it's just being his backfield. So, like, I like Tyquan Thornton, and I think that he has some appeal, but like long term, this isn't an offense that, especially the Patriots, isn't an offense that really wants to throw the ball that much, and they do have a lot of mediocre weapons. But I just don't know if Tyquan Thornton is ever going to be like the guy, especially with Jacoby Myers and how active he is. And so, like, him being like the number 2 or number 3 target on a really low volume, low passing offense isn't something that I'm incredibly excited about. So I would rather just hold on to Kyren Williams, because I would hate to drop him. And then a couple of weeks, all of a sudden, he's leading this backfield for the Rams, and you dropped him for Tyquan Thornton.
I think that one just depends on, like, if you what running backs do you have, CHB? That'd probably be the easiest way to do that, because I do see what Kev's saying, and I'm not like threatened by Cam Akers, but I just think that just muddies everything.
It does. No, it does. But at the same time, the Rams just aren't really a team that really want a committee backfield. And so, like, if Kyren Williams were to, impress and play well, something that Darrell Henderson or Cam Akers haven't done all year, then I think they would be just fine giving him 80% of the opportunities in the backfield. Like, I want to see how he's going to be utilized and what can happen with him before I just go and drop him. Especially, you've probably been holding him now for at least a few weeks, waiting for him to come back. I wouldn't just right when we're on the goal line to see what's going to happen. It's still possible. I don't know if they've ruled him out completely yet. I think he could still be activated today, but if not, I would expect him to fully be activated next week.
No, I don't think he's playing, because they still kept Ronnie Rivers on the 53.
And I think I'm thinking about. I think there's actually a deadline for them to do it, and I think may have already passed for them to be able to do that. So you're probably right, but at worst, I think he's back next week.
Andrea, DJ Moore or Josh Palmer? This is going to be DJ Moore for me.
Yeah.
Really like the spot that the DJ's in this week. Like I said, Chidobe Awuzie is hurt. He's on IR. Mike Hilton hurt again, so he's not going to be playing either. So nice spot for DJ Moore. Emmy, Palmer or Duvernay? Full PPR, we need one.
This is Josh Palmer.
Yeah, I'm going Palmer here. It is interesting with Duvernay, obviously with Rashad Bateman being out, but then Demarcus Robinson was added to the injury report on Friday with a groin injury. So opening up for Duvernay for sure, but it's still Palmer. Our guy Soto rocking with us, the famous Santa hat for Kev. Gonna have to deal with this for the next 2 months almost.
And we put up the Christmas tree last night too, so it's up.
Of course she did. Katie did get out she got the boxes out. Nothing has been done yet, but the boxes are out, and the Halloween stuff is slowly coming down. Patterson or Herbert for Xenon?
I'm gonna go with CPAT.
and arrive with CPAT as well. Isaiah Likely or Taysom Hill. This is going to be Isaiah Likely for both of us. Good to see HG in here. Haven't seen HG for a while. Mostert or Foreman?
I'm going to go with Deonta Foreman.
I really like Mostert again this week. He didn't come through last week. I do like him this week, but I am going to go Foreman. This, like I said, especially with DJ Reader being out, that's a huge hole, huge player for Cincy to be missing. So I am going to go Foreman. Kamara or James Conner. This is going to be Alvin Kamara for both of us. Truth. Still got Tonyan and tight end. Someone dropped Hurst. He's there on waivers. Should I make the switch or stick with Tonyan if Watson and Lazard don't play for the Packers? I'm going Tonyan regardless. Looks like Lazard could be back. Got in some limited practices. I like Tonyan, the position that especially that game script. I like Tonyan there.
Yeah, I would still go Tonyan, yeah.
Duvernay or Dobbs?
I'm going to go with let me see. I need to know. Have they announced yet with Allen Lazard?
No, questionable. But he did get in some limited.
Yeah, I knew he got in practices, but they were still saying that he was going to be kind of a game time decision, but kind of expecting to play. Because this is a fantastic matchup for the Lions, and so I do really like Romeo Doubs here as an option, and so I think I'm gonna go Romeo Doubs with a limited Allen Lazard and the rest of this wide receiver room banged up. I don't mind Devin Duvernay, but we have to remember, even last week, once a lot of those guys went out, I think he only saw 3 or 4 targets in that game, wasn't heavily utilized, and so I know that some of these guy options are going to be out, but I lean towards. I'm going to go Romeo Doubs.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to go Dobbs as well. TN, the GOAT, the OG, the 101 of everything. Coming through again. It feels, every week this happens, it feels less and less like our words matter anymore. Yeah, but we thank you. So, we're gonna do something. There needs to be a parade. We need to. If you know anyone in government, we need to phone Joe Biden and give TN his own national holiday. At this point, that feels like the only thing that we can do is to do something like that. But do we know if Connor plays? If he does play, Connor or Michael Carter in the flex and a half PPR? It looks like Connor should play. It looks like he's expected to play. They're still going to test him out pre-game just to make sure. But between these two, James Robinson now dealing with a knee injury as well. But I would lean Connor.
I would too. This isn't a great matchup. They're playing the Bills, and Bills have one of the best defenses in the league. This isn't a great matchup. And so I would go James Conner.
Yeah.
And I do think he plays. It sounds like he's expecting to play. So.
Yep. Duvernay or Jarvis Landry for Beat It Down B?
This is I'm going to go Duvernay.
Duvernay there for me as well. Chiefs D or Commanders D? That's going to be the Chiefs for me.
Yep.
Especially
if Ryan Tannehill doesn't play. You're looking at on the road, Sunday Night Football in Arrowhead with Malik Willis, who was pissing down his leg against the Houston Texans defense. And now you're going to get this matchup if Malik Willis is going to end up being the starter. So
Christian Watson is going to play. Haven't seen anything on Lazard yet, but that just came through for Christian Watson.
Yeah, I have not seen any official update yet with it. With Lazard.
Then this one for Justin, Amonra or Evans?
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
For sure. Xenon, Josh Jacobs, Mostert, Deion Jackson, James Conner, Kupp, St. Brown, Metcalf, Palmer. We need 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and a flex.
So Josh Jacobs and Deion Jackson.
I'm going to go Jacobs and Mostert.
And
The
then
wide
wide
receivers,
receivers, Cup, St. Brown. And I'm going to flex DK Metcalf.
I will flex Metcalf as well. So the only thing we were different on there is the Mostert versus Deion Jackson. Crip, good morning to you. You know which QB do I start? Fields or Herbert? And full PPR doesn't matter, but Fields or Herbert?
I think he asked us yesterday in Discord, and I started to type something up, and then I did. I think. I think I would still go Herbert here. This is a lot closer than it should be.
Yes.
But I think I would still lean Herbert.
Samesies. And then we need 2 running backs here for Crip as well. Mostert, CPAT, Lenny, Drake.
Lenny and CPAT.
Guess it's going to be the guy just right with this week. I'm going to go Lenny and Mostert. Zay or Evan Ingram? Interesting.
I'm gonna go Evan Ingram.
Let's go, Kev. There it is. Let's go. Going Ingram as well. Truth traded Pitts, Dak, J-Rob for Gabe Davis and Herbert. I don't mind it.
No, I don't mind it either. As long as Justin Herbert can figure things out a little bit here, moving forward, which I think they will, but I don't mind it. I mean, Kyle Pitts looks like he's starting to show some life, but yeah, I think it's fine. It's just Gabe Davis frustrates the hell out of me because he's just so inconsistent.
Yeah.
But whenever you have another wide, when you have Stephon Diggs just dwarfing everybody in targets, that's what's going to happen. But yeah, I still think it's a pretty solid trade. I think it's fine.
Now we need a defense: Miami, Green Bay, or even Arizona. I mean, is Kansas City available? I'd rather have KC. But out of these 3, probably Miami. Just because even with Justin Fields playing very well for fantasy purposes, they're still not putting up points. And that's typically what's going to hurt you when it comes to the DSTs. Fields still taking sacks. He can still throw a pick. You know what I mean? So I would go Miami here.
I'd probably go Green Bay, but I don't hate Miami. Really close. I got both of them like right next to each other. So if you want to go, Miami, I think you can do that too.
T Trilla, ain't nobody Rilla, Etienne or Jacobs.
I'm gonna go Etienne.
Yeah, I'm going Etienne here as well. Doesn't have anything to do with Devontae Adams playing either, or having Devontae on the same team. I just really like the spot that Etienne is in. Jim, 896, 1 point PPR. We need 3 here.
DJ Moore.
Yes.
Tyler Boyd. And Allen Lazard.
I'm between Foreman and Boyd for the last one. I do want to go Lazard and DJ Moore. I'm going to go Foreman, but super close, just because of the projected volume that I think Foreman sees in that matchup. I think Boyd probably Yeah, I'm still gonna stick with Foreman. Super close though. Oh, interessante. I thought Trey White was back this week. Interesting. I think Walito is saying that because there was a question in the chat about Garrett Wilson versus Allen Robinson. And I brought up the fact of not wanting going with A-Rob this week over Garrett Wilson because the Bills have been good against wide receivers. And then with Trey White being back, but now we got Walito saying that Trey White is indeed out. Kirk or Justin Fields from Noel?
Justin Fields.
I don't hate Justin Fields. I just really like the spot for Kirk Cousins. That one's super close. But I'm gonna lean Kirk. Here we go, Kev. Claypool or Mecole?
I'm gonna go with Mecole Hardman. You know, Ashton, just gonna throw this out there. Is Terrace Marshall sitting out there? Because I have him as like a borderline top 36 wide receiver this week. So if he's sitting out there, I'd rather play him this week over both of them. Because with Claypool, like he's supposed to play. I don't know how much he's going to play or how much volume he's going to see. And then Mecole with Kadarius Toney, because we have Kadarius Toney who's supposed to play tonight. He's supposed to be active. Now, how much he's going to be involved in this offense, I don't know. But he is supposed to play. And he is a kind of a similar asset to what Mecole Hardman is. And so I don't know if we're going to see some of the same stuff. And so they spread the ball around so much, it's hard to trust. So like Mecole Hardman definitely has the highest ceiling of the two options that you're already listing. But like Terrace Marshall, like we saw him last week, he played like over now almost 90% of the snaps. He saw 9 targets, multiple red zone looks. Like, and it's not a matchup that I'm really afraid of against Cincinnati. And you know, even if Cincinnati gets going, obviously it's just good news for this Panthers offense. They're going to have to throw the ball a lot more. And so I would lean towards something like Terrace Marshall. If he's not, then yeah, I would go Mecole.
Yeah, I would also I'd also rather play DeAndre Carter over both those guys if Carter's out there on waivers too.
Is he active?
Yeah, he's expected to play. It was just an illness.
I knew that was the illness, but
yeah,
I just wanted to make sure that he was good to go.
Yeah, he is expected to play. Mostert or Jay Will?
I'm gonna go Mostert with this one.
I'm gonna go Mostert as well. TX, who to bench here between Likely, Pitts, and Duvernay?
I want to bench. Man, this is so tough because like I really don't want to play. I think was this one asked on Discord too? I think it was, or if it wasn't, the same question was asked. Because like I don't. This is tough because like I love Likely, so I'm not benching him, right? But I don't know how I feel about playing 2 pass catchers from Baltimore together, Likely and Duvernay. So like I don't love that. But then I also I also don't want to play 2 tight ends either, you know? And so because that's super risky. And so I think I would lean towards going Likely and Pitts with it. But then it worries me. I don't know. It's super close. What would you go with?
I lean Pitts as well, like because of what you just said. Like I don't want to double down on the on the pass catching options for Baltimore.
Yeah.
Like I think this could just be like I was a little surprised to see the total was as high as it was for that game. I would definitely be looking at the under on that one. But yeah, I would go Pitts. And who would have thought at the beginning of the year we'd be debating Kyle Pitts versus Devin Duvernay? I did not have that
and
one
I guess
on my...
so it is. I don't know if we said it or not, but it's officially Alan Lazard is active today, so he is playing. So we're not worried
Okay.
about that. And then also one thing to go along with the Deion Jackson stuff, Zach Moss is actually inactive. So I don't know I mean, I guess it's gonna be him and Philip Lindsay again. So I'm not worried about Philip Lindsay. So I love Deion Jackson this week. Just want to say that.
Yeah. Crystal Barris Benton. Good morning to you. Who'd you put in the flex full PPR? Williams, Kirk, or CPAT?
I'm gonna go with Cordero Patterson.
What could go wrong? I'm rocking with CPAT as well. CPAT, Singletary, or Gibson?
I'm gonna go with Gibson here.
I'm gonna go with CPAT, but I don't hate the Gibson call.
I think with JD McKissick out, like it makes him like the full-fledged pass catching back. You know, and I mean, because Brian Robinson is not going to be utilized that way. Brian Robinson's been terrible so far, but I just think Gibson sees a lot of work, and so, in the pass catching is really what we're wanting anyway. And so, like, I like CPAT as well. It's a really good matchup for him too against the Chargers, but I just leaned a little bit more towards Gibson. I think it would be between those two would be the decision I'd have to make, and I lean towards Gibson.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I think I have Patterson like 2 or 3 spots above Gibson. They're definitely close in my rankings. Randy, Likely or Conklin? We are all in on Isaiah Likely this week. So Likely for sure. Robert Ruiz, flex PPR, Claypool, Marshall, Khalif Raymond, or Landry. Down here in the doldrums. It's Terrace Marshall.
I think it is. Like it's for me, it's between him and Khalif Raymond, because Khalif Raymond has actually been pretty decent over the last like 2 or 3 weeks of the season. He's seeing some decent targets. They're missing some of their pass catchers. Obviously, TJ Hockenson being gone too is going to affect some things. But he has been like okay. Like, I mean, he's not like going to win you a week, but like the last 2 weeks, he's scored double-digit fantasy points over the last couple of weeks. He's seeing a decent amount of targets. But I think I would slightly lean towards Terrace Marshall. It is close between Khalif Raymond and Terrace Marshall.
Gino or Fields? We have this one. Me and Kev are split on this one. I lean Gino. Kev has Fields. What'd you say? Like 4 spots ahead of Gino. Fields at 8 and Gino at 12.
Yeah. Richard
Muzquiz. Patterson or Herbert? Who's going to go off today? I don't know about going off, but
I'm gonna go with Patterson. Yeah.
Well, I'm Patterson here, but I'm not. I don't know that either of them goes off. Jacoby or Jarvis?
100% Jacoby Myers.
For show. Here we go. Ashton always coming through with the good questions here for us. Tony, Demarcus Robinson, or Big Ben?
I don't think you can play the last one. I mean, with Van Jefferson,
Did see Jefferson's questionable. I'll say this. I saw the Q tag beside his name in the Fantasy Pros ranking system. I was adjusting my rankings before we jumped on. I did see he had the question mark, but I don't know if that's, if he got in limited practices. I'm not entirely sure on that. Demarcus Robinson, like I said, got hit with that late, like end of week groin injury popped up. So again, it's like DeAndre Carter available, like a Traquan Smith, maybe. Yeah, I guess I'm going to go Tony and just hope and pray that he turns, 4 or 5 targets into all catches and, get some yak off of one of those.
Yeah, or maybe they have something schemed up for him on the goal line or something like that, or around there. I think I would go Kadarius Toney between these 3 options.
Yeah. McKenzie or Mac Hollins for Evan?
I'm going to go Mac Hollins.
I'm going to go Mac Hollins as well. I think if you play Isaiah McKenzie, you're praying that he catches one of his targets for a touchdown. Because I just don't know how much Buffalo is going to have to pass in this one. And Isaiah McKenzie has also been splitting time in the slot as well. It's not like he's the full-time slot receiver for Buffalo.
Yeah, and I mean, we were seeing his routes drop a little bit too, and I mean, involvement overall. I mean, last week he only saw one target, and I mean, he's struggled, made some really bad plays recently too. So, yeah, I mean, he's just hard to trust.
Back-to-back likely answers here. So, Gurus, we're going likely over Pitts, and then Andrea, we're going likely over Big Bobby Tonyan. Especially now with Watson and Lazard active. I was really digging Tonyan earlier in the week when I thought that neither of those guys were going to play, but now that both of them are active, this is definitely likely here. 1KC dot at flex full PPR. Should I start Boyd or Adam T?
I'm gonna go Tyler Boyd.
Yeah, going Boyd as well. Duvernay or Boyd?
Boyd
for me. The easy money Sicilian. Good to see you back in here. Appreciate all you rocking with us. If you are new to the channel, please hit us with a like and a sub. We will be here for the next 45 minutes answering all of your questions and going live again tonight at halftime of the Sunday night game to give you the first look at week 10 waivers. So appreciate all you. Claypool or Higbee at the flex? This is Higbee for me. Don't do it. I know you love Justin Fields. don't do it.
I'm going Claypool here.
Sorry we couldn't be any help for you. Easy money. I just think Higbee, his target ceiling is way higher. Like I said, Fields has been playing better, putting up good fantasy points, but it's not like he's throwing, 250 yards per game. It's not like this is a high volume passing offense. Fields has been getting there because he's rushing, 10 times for 80, 90 yards in a touchdown. So I'm going Higbee. Stafford, Goff, or Mariota? I'm going to go Goff.
Yeah, I agree. Can't believe this is where we're at.
Yeah. Stafford has not been good. The entire offense has not been good. Hines, J-Rob, Landry, or Tony here for Walito in a PPR.
This is like super. I think I would go Jarvis Landry, actually. Because I really don't know what to expect from Nyheim Hines this week in this offense. And then James Robinson, no thanks. And then Kadarius Toney, this is really thin. So I think I would go Jarvis.
I'm gonna go Tony. I think Landry probably has like the safer floor. But if you're giving me options like this, I'm just gonna go for ceiling. Like you said, maybe they have something dialed up for Tony near the goal line, couple, jet sweeps or those pop passes or, whatever and may end up being. I'm just going to go with the higher upside here. Gucci, CPAT or Mostert?
I'm gonna go with Mostert on this one.
Mostert for me as well. Mr. Wong, good morning to you. Connor or AJ Dillon in the flex full PPR?
James Conner.
James Conner for me as well. ETN or Jacobs? We already had this one. It's going to be ETN for both of us by a hair, by a smidge. Kicker, let's go. Carlson, Dicker, Lutz, Santos. I'm going Carlson.
Yeah, I would go Carlson.
Sorry, I just got a trade offer.
What's the trade?
It's a dynasty league, 12-team super flex. My team is horrible, which is fine, but I took over a bad team. Been wheeling and dealing, but I literally don't have a quarterback. My starting quarterback right now is Chase Daniel. And I just got an offer for PJ Walker for a third. Which I think if I were like contending and I needed like a QB3, QB2, I would take, but like that does me no good. Like I'm not trying to win. Like I'm trying to be bad so I can have a higher pick. I got some picks coming up the next 2 years, boys. Excited about that one. Traded away CMC, Dalvin Cook. Who else did I trade away? I made some moves. Stacking up the picks and the youth. I actually got your boy Pollard and traded CMC for 2 firsts, Pollard and Christian Watson. So I'm excited about that one. Anyway, enough about my dynasty team. Tim J, Hardman, Marshall, or Taysom in the flex.
I love that. I hope Terrace Marshall continues to ascend. Because it was obviously looking bleak for him last year, and we were heavy
first
heavy fans of Terrace Marshall last year, and it did not work out. But I'm gonna go Terrace Marshall.
I'll go Terrace Marshall here in this spot as well. Suds, Jamal Williams or Deonta Foreman?
I'm gonna go Foreman.
I'm going to go Foreman here as well. Travis, you're awesome. Ooh, whoops, we skipped Emilio's question. So Chiefs, Vikings, Packers, Chargers, or Bucks? Sorry, Emilio. And I'm going KC.
Oh, okay. I was like, where do you see KC? Now I see.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Chiefs.
So KC not available for Truth. Indy is there, or stick with Miami or Green Bay. I'm gonna stick with Miami. Kev, I know you said Green Bay, but Indy doesn't really interest me. 12-team PPR. We need one here for Ashton. Khalil, Woods, Zay, or Tony.
I'm gonna go Khalil Herbert.
Herbert there for me as well. Fire Fox. AJ Dillon or Terrace Marshall?
I'm gonna go AJ Dillon.
Dillon for me as well. I know we've talked a lot about Terrace Marshall, but I still have him ranked as like a wide receiver 4, and AJ Dillon is on that RB2 fringe, just solely based on the matchup. Quinn, we need one. MVS, Zay Jones, Robert Woods, or Claypool.
MVS.
Yes. Got Aiden rocking with us. DJ Moore or James Conner. Missing Kittle, CMC, and CD. Wish me luck.
Yeah, this is like the Buymageddon week, really. I mean, there's so many teams on bye.
And then with all the injuries we have too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go DJ Moore here
Yep.
on this one, but yeah, there's a lot of like I would have heading into the season. I fully because I had like 7 players that were on bye when I first started like this week. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna lose this week, whatever, fuck it. Like, but I mean, some different trades I've made along the way has changed that a little bit, made it a little easier for me. But yeah, there's a lot of good players on bye this week, but yeah, but I would go DJ Moore.
Thoughts on this trade from Truth? Traded Debo and Judy for Pierce and Kirk. This is because I heard about Kamara video being leaked and he can get suspended. Still got D-Hop and St. Brown.
So I was kind of curious how that was going to play with Alvin Kamara now that the video has been leaked. But an NFL spokesperson came out and said that nothing's changed with the status. So nothing's going to come. That video didn't change anything. And so I wouldn't worry about it. And again, kind of like we talked about, he'll be suspended next year. He won't be suspended this year if he gets suspended at all. But I would assume he's going to at least get something for his involvement in it. So whatever comes of it, but I'm not worried about it this year. So, anyways, yeah, I think that was a good trade. I mean, my goodness, Dameon Pierce looked so good on Thursday night. That game. I mean, he was just, I don't know. He looked really good.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I think I'd lean the Debo side just because I think he is the best player, but I don't mind it. I think Judy and Kirk are kind of a wash. I do have Kirk ahead, but if you need running back help, I don't mind it. AJ Brown, a wide receiver, Cook and Kamara at running back. Yeah, I think if AJ Brown is the only receiver worth mentioning, probably would have kept Debo and Judy. But like I said, I don't think you're taking like a massive loss there. Jack Nodes, Keenan and DJ Moore, or Amon-Ra and Claypool. Just give me the best player here and give me Amon-Ra. It's worrisome with Keenan Allen, with this lingering hamstring injury. Chargers not playing well. DJ Moore has moved significantly up my rankings, obviously with the past couple of weeks of his performances. But if you're able to package up, a banged up Keenan, who also came out and said that he's not going to play until he's 100%. So who knows when that ends up being? Just give me Amon-Ra.
I really have no idea why the Chargers did not go out at the deadline and make a move for a wide receiver. Any wide receiver at this point. They knew they had the bye week. They knew that Mike Williams was going to be out for a while. And they also knew that Keenan Allen tweaked something and that they were going to be without both of them. And the fact that they just said, nah, fuck it. We're just going to let it ride with nothing. Like, it boggles my mind that they did not do something at the trade deadline. To add anybody. It didn't have to be like the Brandon Cooks or like the higher level player. Like, just try to go out and add some depth to this wide receiver room, but they didn't. I don't know. It blows my mind. But yeah,
Jalen Guyton on IR already too, so it's not like they had anyone to really fall back on.
Yeah.
Dion, Jacoby, or Pittman?
Deion Jackson.
I'm finally going to say Deion Jackson. I'll go Dion here solely based off of projected volume. Non-PPR, Swift or Deion Jackson? Non-PPR, I'm going to go Deion Jackson.
Deion Jackson, yeah.
Yes, Waller and Damian Harris inactive. Ramondre Mosa, Pacheco, Harris, Algier. Okay. So, I mean...
That was with the waiver move, right? Picking somebody up.
For
Tyquan Thornton for Kyron, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would keep Kyron Williams. I think.
Yeah, like I said, I don't mind it. The reason why, like I said, I said Thornton just because with Akers not being moved, and looks like he's not going to be dropped either, not going to be cut rather. I think it just muddies everything. Journeyman, A-Rob, Terrace Marshall, or Isaiah McKenzie.
I'm gonna go Allen Robinson here.
Let's go. A-Rob bounce back week. CPAT or Mostert over Olave at flex. Full PPR.
No, I would stick with Olave.
Same with Olave there as well. Andrea, you have a good day. Michael Brown, Amon-Ra, or Duvernay. My league counts return yards as 10 yards per point. That's interesting, but not interesting enough for me to move off Amon-Ra.
Yeah, agreed.
St. Brown or Metcalf is going to be ARSB. We need 2 here for Braden, Palmer, Gabe Davis, and Mostert.
Sit Gabe Davis. I'm gonna go Palmer and Mostert.
Yeah, I agree. What do we think of Montgomery this week? Have him at flex, but could pick up Henderson, Kenyon Drake, Claypool, or Josh Palmer.
I would rather start Josh Palmer.
Yep, I would as well. Although I'm curious, Emilio, who are you going to be dropping to pick up Palmer? I would want to know that. Drake or Lazard?
It's gonna be Lazard for me.
Yeah, I do like Kenyon Drake this week, but I'm gonna stick with Lazard there. Ilya, Duvernay, Lazard, Woods.
I'm gonna go with Lazard. I'm sure Devin Duvernay is gonna end up just killing me. So.
I know. But if he does, it's gonna be like 3 for $110 and 2. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be one of those things. Like Duvernay's not gonna go out there and have like a 10 catch performance. I'm going Lazard as well. Benito, Wilson or Algier rest of season. I would say Wilson just because he is a Raheem Mostert injury away from being the guy. And Kev, you said you think that Wilson could even overtake Mostert for the lead in that backfield, where with Algier, we saw it. You know, the CPAT was out for weeks. They had Damian out for weeks, and he was still splitting with Caleb Huntley and, Avery Williams sprinkled in. So I'm just going to go with the guy who I think has the higher upside, and that is Wilson.
Yeah, I probably agree. Even though I like Tyler Algier, but yeah, I think I would agree that Jeff Wilson is probably the better option.
Metcalf or Deion Jackson? Man. I'm going to go Metcalf. Kev, you're all about Deion Jackson today. Are you playing him over Metcalf?
I think on this one, I'm going to go with DK Metcalf.
Okay.
It's closer than it should be, though, for me.
RB, what other options do you have? Like that's what that would depend on for me. Let us know who else you have.
Because I know the question you had was Kenyon Drake or Lazard. I don't know if those are options to choose between. But if there were, like, if you included CPAT in there with Lazard and Drake, who would you go with?
I would still go Lazard, but I would go CPAT over Drake.
I would too, yeah.
I'm 1-7. Is there still hope?
It's not like a lot of hope, Well, Xenon, I think the question here is like, are you guys split up into divisions? And if you are, what's like the cutoff? Like, what's the lowest team that's closest to you? I guess that's in the playoffs now. Like, is it 6 teams make the playoffs? Is it split up into 2 divisions? So, like, who's that third place team? Like, how far away are you from actually making the playoffs? It's not looking good, that's for sure. Like, you pretty much have to win out to even have any sort of hope. But I wouldn't say it's over. And I also say that even if it is going to be over for you, I still like. I hate managers that just quit paying attention to their like after they like if they're not gonna they're out whatever because it just gives teams free weeks. I'm not saying that at all. That's what Zedon's going to do, but I think you should just play it out the rest of the year. In my opinion.
Yeah, agreed. And then also the other thing to be mindful of is like, is your last playoff spot for most points? Because if it's a case where you're scoring points, but like you're just getting dicked over every week and you're running into buzzsaws. Like my one dynasty league, like I have my team is stacked, but I'm like 5-3 because I've spent 2 weeks where I've just run into absolute buzzsaws. So keep that in mind as well. Boba, Swift, Dobbs, or Terrace Marshall in a PPR?
I'm gonna go with Swift.
I'm gonna go Romeo.
I know they're saying that he's going to be limited, but we have to remember. I mean, he played last week, and he still played 50% of the snaps last week. So, like, like he ran 21 routes. He saw 5 targets. He scored a touchdown, 5 catches. He only had 33 total yards. Like, I know that like they're saying he's limited, but like again, he played 50% of the snaps last week, and like I don't see any change to think that was going to change anything from last week to this week. And so, if he's going to play 50% of the snaps, and be utilized in the passing game, run a lot of routes, I want DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, that still just worries me. Like even with playing 50% of the snaps, it ended up being what, like 9 opportunities, 6 opportunities. I mean, 8.
And the thing with Dobbs
like
though is that you still have you have Tanya, you have Aaron Jones, you have Alan Lazard now back. Like if Alan Lazard was out, it would change my mind on Dobbs. But with Alan Lazard back and Christian Watson, like there's so many players that they can throw the ball to here, and it doesn't really seem like even though Romeo Dobbs had that insane catch in the end zone, and then they just stopped throwing the ball to him. Like it doesn't seem like he has the trust of Aaron Rodgers right now, and so he's tougher to trust in my opinion.
If it helps, Bubba, I will concede consensus there and go Swift. Can drop Monty for the week. We can't pick up a player once he plays. Keenan Allen, JT, Chubb, Dak, Cooks, Judy on the bench. Connor and Dion is my RB1 and 2. Are you dropping Monty for who was it? Josh Palmer.
I think I would, yeah.
Man. I don't know if I'd be willing to drop Monty.
Would you drop any of the other options?
I think you can consider Judy. Like for this week. I think this also depends on if you are like desperate for a win. Like if you're like on the outside.
Yep.
If you're on the outside looking in, you know what I mean? I think I would make that move. I don't think Monty is droppable for Palmer.
Well, I'm guessing with the players that are sitting out there, this is probably a deeper league. And so I don't think dropping Monty would be like the same as if it was like a 12-team league, there's no shot I would drop David Montgomery. But if this is like a 8 or 10-team league, like it's a little bit more easier to swallow. It's because David Montgomery hasn't been very good. Khalil Herbert just continues to eat into his workload. And so I don't mind it. And I think there's a lot of, enough depth. But but if you're desperate for a win, I would do it. Because you can't be messing around and I don't want to lose them. Because if you lose this week, Josh Palmer is in a much better spot. And Josh Palmer could really be the guy here for them for the next 2 or 3 weeks. This isn't just a 1 week play. Because I don't think all of a sudden Keenan Allen is back next week. And so he's probably going to be out for a few more weeks. Then Mike Williams is going to be out for at least a month. So he's staring down the barrel of being the guy in this wide receiver room for at least the conceivable future. And so he could be a guy you're looking to play every single week. So that's why I don't really mind it. It'd be different if it was a 1 week play, but this is something that we're talking about for at least probably the next 2 or 3.
Yeah, I would just rather drop Judy over Monty.
Yeah, he's okay. He's 3-5, and it's a 10-team PPR league, so he definitely needs a win.
Yeah, I would drop Judy.
Or wait, is that Brandon Cooks?
Well, probably can't drop Cook since he already played.
Oh, well, he said they can't pick people up. Oh, you're right. They already played. Never mind. He'd be locked. Never mind. Yeah. That's a good point.
I mean, if you can drop Cooks, go ahead and do it.
I would rather. If it was me, I would drop David Montgomery. I don't know. Jerry Jeudy looked pretty damn good the last time they played, and week off, everything else. Actually, Jerry Jeudy's looked really good the last 2 weeks. So, which is way more than you can say for David Montgomery. So, yeah, I would easily drop David Montgomery.
Mark Andrews, bet on him or start Tyler Conklin. Can you pick up Isaiah Likely?
Yeah, you can get Likely, sure. But I'm going to be willing to bet that there's probably less than 10% chance that Mark Andrews plays.
Yeah.
And so if I was going to do that, if there was any inclination I thought he would, I would say yeah, and maybe to pick up Juwan Johnson or something like that. So at least you have another option to go to if Isaiah Likely's not. If Isaiah Likely's pick it, 100% pick him up. Yeah, he said Likely's taken. That's what I thought. And so I highly doubt he plays. I view it less than 10%. It sounds like he's highly unexpected to play, not expected to play. They're not going to rule him out quite yet. It would make no sense for them to have him go out there and play. They're on bye next week. Give him the rest. Get the week off. Likely's proven he could do the job. And then you get he gets 2 weeks off, come back, be fully healthy. So I would just roll Tyler Conklin.
I'd roll Conklin as well. Take a look and see if Gerald Everett is out there for any reason. Just because, after that hot start, he was struggling. So maybe he got dropped and is kind of just chilling out there unexpectedly. But yeah, it'd be Conklin over Andrews. I'm not expecting him to play. Curtis Samuel or Rondale in the flex.
I'm going to go Rondale.
I'm going to go Rondale as well. This is kind of something what we talked about whenever Heineke first was named not named the starter, but got the starting job after Wentz went on IR. I don't necessarily think it was an increase in overall play for Terry McLaurin, but just getting more targets, and that's what we've seen. We saw Wentz was much more willing to spread the ball around, and we've seen Terry McLaurin kind of take over as the guy in that wide receiver room, which is kind of what I was banking on. So the infamous Mel, top of the morning, Rondale Moore, Kyle Pitts, or Antonio Gibson at the flex.
I'm going to go Antonio Gibson.
I'm going to go Rondale Moore. Jacob Under. Need tuna PPR, Swift, CPAT, Herbert, and Deion Jackson.
Swift and Deion Jackson.
And I will go Swift and CPAT. Kind of just touched on this, Boba. Kev said that apparently an NFL spokesperson came out and said that nothing has changed with the situation. So it doesn't seem like anything is going to come down this year. Although if I'm Alvin Kamara and the Saints continue to lose, like, do you just say like, all right, let's stop putting off my court date and just do it now, get it over with? That'd be the only thing that I would like. That's kind of like in the back of my head is like, do they stop trying to like push us into next year if they just continue to lose? But that's just pure speculation and like wondering on my part. Trey, good morning. Good morning to you. We need to sit one in a full PPR. It's not Juju. Is it Boyd or Palmer?
I think I'm going to sit Boyd.
And I think I'm going to sit Josh Palmer.
I have Josh Palmer at 15, and I have Tyler Boyd ranked wide receiver 19. So
yeah, they're close to me as well. I lean Boyd by a smidge. Cash, good to see Cash in here. We've seen some familiar faces we haven't seen for a while today with HG coming through. Cash is here today. Good to see all of your avatar faces. We need two here: CPAP, B Rob, or Drake. I'm going to sit Brian Robinson.
Yeah.
Swift or Terrace Marshall for Ra.
This is Swift.
Another
a lot
one,
of Geno versus Fields today. And unfortunately, we are no help because we are split. I am Justin Fields. Cody is Geno Smith. I just think with the way that Justin Fields has played, great matchup. Miami has really struggled to stop through the air. And plus, I think looking at him, like, you can bank on probably at least 50 rushing yards, if not more. And so I'm just going to continue to ride this train with Justin Fields, where Geno Smith probably is a little bit safer of an option, better pass catchers there, on the road against Arizona. So, yeah, I just lean toward Justin Fields.
Terrace Marshall or Swift?
Swift. We already answered that one. You put it in there twice.
Oh, yeah. Good call. So we already answered that first one. Cubanito, that's going to be Wilson for both of us. And then Lazard and McLaurin in week 9. That is going to be McLaurin for me.
Yep.
Swift or Foreman?
I'm going to go with Swift.
I'm going to go Foreman there, Spubsy. BJ say so. Marshall, MVS, or Hollins?
I feel like this could go so many different directions here with all three of these options. I could see a spot where all three of these could score like 18 PPR points or more. A little bit more than that.
Score 3.
Yes, and they all could score absolutely nothing and just be terrible options. I'm going to go with Terrace Marshall just because I have him ranked higher. So, yeah. But I actually don't have... I have Terrace Marshall at 40, and I have MVS at 43. And who's the other one? Mac Hollins. And then I have Mac Hollins at 45. So all really close to each other.
Yeah, I think Marshall's volume is more bankable, right? So I'm gonna lean there. Although MVS is an intriguing option. I would have them ranked how you have them listed. Say so. Mako, Moreau, or Likely with Waller being hurt. This is 1,000,000% Isaiah Likely. For sure. McLaurin, Kirk, or Godwin. I'm going to sit Kirk.
Agreed. Absolutely. Love Terry McLaurin, and I also really like Chris Godwin as well. I think both of them are great options. Yeah.
Pitts or Ertz? This is going to be Ertz for me.
Yeah, I would go. Ertz.
All right, Kev. Is that it? I'm trying to pull up the get a link for Discord.
Yeah, I think so. I think the only thing, because thanks guys. I know you said that about Spudsy's question. It's just with Foreman. Like, I know he's been excellent the last 2 weeks, but with Chuba Hubbard, really just the matchup at Cincinnati on the road. If Cincinnati can get up quickly, I don't think Foreman's going to have the same type of opportunity. I like Deonta Foreman this week. We've talked about DeAndre Swift, and I get it. It can be a little scary with him. They're talking about him being limited, but I mean, he was limited last week. Like I said, like 50% of the opportunities, they're probably going to have to, throw the ball a lot today against the Packers, because I really actually like the Packers this week. It's kind of a bounce back spot. Then I think Swift could see, anywhere from 5 to 7 targets, and it means more to me than what carries are going to be. We know what target is worth, like 2.5 times more than a carry. One target is, and so I just lean towards that. So I still have Swift. I've lowered Swift just because of a little bit of that, but I still have Swift as a top. I think I have him at 13. I think so. I would still lean towards Swift, where I have Foreman at 16.
Henderson or Caleb Huntley. This is going to be Henderson for both of us, I'm assuming. If CPAT weren't in, we could have a discussion with Caleb Huntley. But with CPAT being back, and we saw Algier kind of start to take more of the opportunity over Huntley as well. So I think Caleb Huntley gets pushed to the back of that room. Bryce Long, do I trade Kamara and Foreman for CMC? Okay, sorry. Brain literally malfunctioned here. So Kamara and Foreman for CMC, or Kamara and Pitts for Kelsey. RBs are Walker, Stevenson, Pierce, Kamara, Foreman.
I would do the Kamara and Foreman one for CMC.
I would do either of them.
I don't love the Kamara and Pitts for Kelsey one as much, but I do think I would do Kamara and Foreman for CMC.
That's funny because I slightly lean the Kelsey trade. Just because I think you can get rid of Kamara. You still have solid options with Walker, Stevenson, Pierce. Foreman is kind of whatever once, Hubbard comes back, if he does come back. But then that upgrade, instead of like wondering each week of, Pitts versus whatever waiver wire tight end is out there, just locking Kelsey in, not having to worry about bye weeks anymore with him. He literally does not leave your lineup. But you can obviously say the same thing with the bye week for CMC as well.
If you wanted to go that route and go for the Kelsey one, but I also think that he has so many weapons, like it's his offense. He has so many options, is what I would say, that I think you could do more trades than this. Like, you could make that trade, Kamara and Foreman for CMC, get CMC in your roster, and then you probably could do something else if you really wanted to, because you're still going to have a decision to make every week between CMC, Walker, Stevenson, and Pierce. Like, you could trade another one of those guys and probably, still have 3 really good running backs that you're really solid with, and then be able to make another move if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
Which you could do the same thing, I guess, for the Kelsey one as well. But I think either way you could do that. You're pretty loaded.
King Marcelo, we need a flex and a PPR. London, Zay Jones, Terrace Marshall, Mac Hollins, or Julio.
It should obviously be Drake London, but it's not, because they don't throw the ball enough. It is so incredibly frustrating the way he broke out earlier in the year, and then it's just kind of been dead since then.
Yeah. It's still Drake London. It should easily be Drake London, but it's closer than it should be. But I'm still gonna ride with Drake.
I am too, but it shouldn't be this. It should just be obvious, but it's not.
Two guys you really like, Kev, this week, Godwin or Olave. Who do you got? I lean Godwin.
I do too. Super close. Mike,
Yeah, I
can we
think
not play both? Can we not play both, Mike? Why can we not play both? Can we do that? I like both of them a lot.
Yeah, I think they're only like a spot or two apart from me in my rankings. CVB, pick 3. Mixon, Stevenson, J. Will, or CPAT.
I'm going to sit Jamal Williams.
Samesies. Bill Romanowski. Let's go. Gibson or Thielen in a PPR.
I'm going to go Gibson. Embrace him. Welcome him back into your heart. Okay. The last 2 weeks, it's been there. He's 16.7 and 20.7 respectively the last 2 weeks. He's running routes. He's seeing targets. He scored a couple touchdowns. With no J.D. McKissick is huge. He only played 36% of the snaps last week, 40% the week before that. But without J.D. McKissick in the backfield, he's probably you could see him bump up, especially if they fall behind. Brian Robinson obviously isn't that guy. He's not going to catch any passes. Antonio Gibson, and he's still going to see carries. I mean, it's not like he's a scat back or something. He's still going to see a lot of carries, or a decent amount anyways, probably anywhere from 8 to 10, maybe 12 carries. But if you could say he's going to see 5 to 7 targets as well, sign me up for that all day, especially in a PPR.
I just have like such a callous built on my heart for Antonio Gibson. Man. Give me Kirk Cousins in the revenge spot. I'm gonna go Adam Thielen. And just Kirk Cousins in a familiar place, 1:00 game. Give me Thielen. Kirk Cousins throws for over 300 yards today. And then tonight for Sunday Night Football, it's absolutely the Chiefs. Not sure that I would take the 12.5 spread that they're now on, but if you could tease them with another team or two, bring that back down. But it's definitely.
I took that question like literal. Like, what are you cooking for? Like, what are you having for dinner tonight?
We will be cooking up some waiver wire. Or Kev, are you gonna do Sunday night tonight with the Chiefs?
Yeah, I'm not telling them to get the hell out of here for 15 minutes while halftime's on.
All right, so we will be live exactly at halftime, so we can so Kev can let his family come back down to the living room, bang that out. But man, I don't know what we're. I'm gonna make some tacos tonight. That's what I'm gonna make. A little Sunday taco night.
Doing some pizza tonight. I think is what we're doing.
Easy way out. What's the go-to for the Steele family?
Pizza?
Yeah, where you order? I'm assuming you're ordering.
No, I roll my dough and throw it up. I think tonight we're gonna do. You're probably not familiar. Have you ever heard of Casey's Pizza?
No.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't. It's more of a Midwest. It's actually a gas station, but it is very good.
There's a gas station back home in Pennsylvania that just had bomb-ass pizza. Like, so good. So I'm down with the gas station pizza. Anyway, 5-3 here in a 14-teamer for Thode. Would you trade Debo, Najee, and Allen for CMC and Olave? Kev, you're muted. You're still muted. My God.
My bad. The question I would have is, why haven't you accepted it already? Because I would have accepted it immediately if someone offered me Debo, Najee, Keenan Allen, and I get CMC and Olave.
Yeah, I would do that as well.
Yeah, within a heartbeat.
Yeah. K. Ellis, Foreman or Deion Jackson? I think we're probably gonna be split on this, right, Kev?
Yep, I'm going to go Deion Jackson.
And I will go Foreman.
This next one with Mike, I totally understand now why he had to make the decision he had to, because it's Cup, Waddle, Olave, and Godwin. So, yeah, I guess you have to sit Olave. That's tough.
Clamp it. Let's go, man. Good to see some of these old faces in here. Pick 3: Mixon, Walker, Stevenson, Aaron Jones. Man,
this is also rough. Another, 4 top 5 running backs, or 4 top 10 running backs for me this week.
I'm gonna sit Stevenson.
I'm gonna sit Joe Mixon.
I figured that's where you were going.
Yeah,
it's close. I think I only have Mixon maybe like a spot or 2 ahead of Stevenson. But I slightly lean sitting Stevenson in that spot. Walker and Aaron Jones locked in, and then I lean Mixon and Kev leans Stevenson. Patel, hope all is well with you. My guy, need one for PPR. Pittman, Jamal Williams, or Swift?
I'm gonna go Deion. I'm gonna go Swift.
I lean Pittman. Not a fantastic matchup for Pittman, but he's still seeing the volume, and New England has given up some production to some wide receivers. So slightly lean Pittman. Jawan, Logan Thomas, or Gesicki? I'm going Logan Thomas there.
Mike Gesicki. So once again,
man, this might be the show we've had the most disagreement on. Comes down to a handful of players, but I think this might be the one we've disagreed on the most. Vikings D or Arizona / Seattle?
probably go Vikings.
Probably going Vikings as well. Terrace Marshall or Julio?
Marshall. Man. We could have a lot of tonight when we do the waiver show. We could have a lot of angry people like, fuck you for telling me to start Terrace Marshall, who got me 1.5 fantasy points. Like, everything is there. The volume should be there for him. Explosive athlete. Like, a lot of people forget who Terrace Marshall is because, people may not pay attention to, rookie stuff. But, I mean, we're talking about a guy with 86th percentile speed score, an 85th percentile burst score, 6'2", 205, big body wide receiver, who obviously was terrible last year. But I think this year he's starting to, show out a little bit. Matt Rule was a terrible coach, had no business being an NFL head coach. So hopefully he can keep this going, because last week's 9 targets, 4 catches, 87 yards, I think could be a little bit of a sign of things to come. So let's go. Pray with all of us that Terrace Marshall has a good day.
We need to help out Porsche here going up against Jobby. We gotta get Porsche a win. Let's send Jobby crying tonight. 1 tight end, 1 flex out of Ertz, Pitts, Campbell, and I'm assuming that's Cordero. I think I'm going double tight end.
Well, that's Cordero. If that's Cordero Patterson, I'm going to go C-Pat and Zach Ertz.
Samesies. Felix, Chubb, Jacobs, Cooks, Diggs, Hopkins, Jefferson. Solid or trade away? No, I'm
holding that.
I'm holding on to that for show. Would appreciate the like and the sub. Listen to Ashton. Be a good guy. Harrison rocking with us. Connor, Monty, Dion, start 2.
I'm gonna sit in Dave Montgomery. Like, Dave Montgomery is kind of like the, you have the pit bull here, like in his picture in his Abby with the pit bull with the puppy on top. That pit bull is Khalil Herbert, and the puppy is Dave Montgomery, just riding his back right now. So,
some strong words. Thoughts on Akers' future? I mean, Who knows? I mean, none of the running backs have looked good in this backfield. Like it seems like I said, there was a report that came out that said that his involvement is going to increase. So I mean, the fact that they did not decide to just cut him, I think, is probably a good sign. Because obviously they were fine with just letting him sit when he was not happy with his involvement. So I'm assuming they got together, ironed things out. It is confirmed that Akers does not like Darrell Henderson, so he could end up being the guy. But I mean, is he an automatic drop? I don't think he's an automatic drop, but I don't think that you have to hold on to him either. Is Swift someone to worry about going forward? And if so, should I trade? I just don't know what you're going to get for him at this point. Like, if you can get someone in like the similar tier, like if you can make like a swap, kind of like a 1-for-1, I think is fine. But I don't think that you're going to get what you're probably looking at, week 1 and 2.
Yeah, this isn't the time to trade if you were going to trade him. And we've seen how productive he can be whenever he is healthy. And so I'm not. I mean, you're not going to get what you should get for him, and so I would just hold.
Yeah, Pittman or Patterson.
I'm going to go Michael Pittman here.
Pittman for me as well. Arjun, start Swift or Herbert full PPR, and I need upside. Oh, Lord. I wish Herbert were seeing more opportunity. I think here you go Swift in a game that should be high scoring, should be playing from behind, probably has the better chance of seeing the end zone. MSC braces like button will be clicked. Click it. Half PPR. Akers, Hilliard. What's the junior here? I'm assuming there should be somebody with the junior. MCS, let us know if you're missing a player. I guess not. It's just
maybe that
Akers,
was
Hilliard.
I mean, super thin. I mean, like I said, I think Hilliard actually could be like a decent option because of the way this game script is setting up.
Yeah.
He's much more going to be involved in the passing game. And this feels like a kind of a game script type of game where Derrick Henry could be game scripted out. If the Chiefs are 12.5-point favorites right now. It's actually went up. And then we're talking about a scenario without Ryan Tannehill as well, so that makes it a little nervous just because of is Malik gonna check it down? I don't know, but Akers, I don't know what you can expect from him whatsoever, especially against what should be a really good run defense from the Bucs, and who knows how much he even plays. So I would lean towards Hilliard, especially if it's PPR. Just if he can get 4 or 5 targets, I think it's definitely in the range of possibility where he might be able to do something there. So I think I would just lean towards Hilliard.
Samesies. Super CMB challengers. Kirk, Deion Jackson, or Palmer at the flex in a PPR.
I'm going to go Deion Jackson.
I lean Palmer in this one. Kenyon Drake or Michael Carter in a PPR. I'm going to go Kenyon Drake.
Agree.
Hurst, Likely, or Conklin. That is going to be Likely. Well, Lito, I actually have not looked at anything props-wise this week, so I'm sorry I can't help you out. And there was no prop talk. You can blame Tom because apparently, he thinks – I've never heard Tom mention one fucking word about baseball. Then all of a sudden the Phillies make the World Series and he's some big baseball fan. So if you're gonna be bringing that disgust, aim it at somebody else.
Well, and so Now that it's over, are you guys going back next week? Is there going to be a week 10 prop talk? Because
I don't
the
know,
Phillies are
maybe-
out. They got kicked out. They got eliminated, so we don't have to worry about that anymore.
I don't know. Maybe Tom will surprise me and start talking about, I don't know, some highlight or something that he just can't miss. I don't know. Should be back, but yeah, I have actually not looked at any props, to be honest. Legendary Pest Control. I didn't know LPC was a Chiefs fan. Jamal Williams or Gabe Davis.
I'm gonna go with Jamal Williams here.
I'm going Jamal too, which don't feel great about. But I think if Gabe Davis gets there, he hasn't been getting a bunch of volume. Like he's been living off of 80-yard touchdowns, and Jamal Williams is locked in. That Packers defense has not been great, so I'm going to go Jamal. Metcalf or Swift at the flex. I'm going to go DK.
Yeah, I think I would go DK here.
Bleed. We need 2 Myers, Djax, Rondale.
I'm gonna go Deion Jackson and Jacoby Myers.
I'll lean there as well. Ray, torn between Duvernay versus Saints and Samuel versus the Vikings for my flex in a standard.
I would start Swift. You said probably sitting Swift.
And a standard? Still starting Swift?
I mean, it's not like these guys are like heavy volume guys here or guys that are going to, you really easily project for a touchdown. Like, I think Duvernay would maybe be the other option, And so, yeah.
So you would have them rank Swift, Duvernay, and then Samuel.
Yeah. Yeah.
You too. One flex, one wide receiver in a PPR, Deshaun Jackson, Jarvis Landry, Evan Ingram, or Allen Lazard. I'm going to go Lazard and Evan Ingram.
I agree, yeah.
Last one here, and we'll get out of here. If you guys have any other questions, go ahead and join the Discord. I think I still have that here. Boom. Go ahead and join the Discord, and we can help you out over there. We got some lineups to set of our own. Need two here for Jacob Swift, Drake, DeAndre Carter.
I'm going to sit DeAndre Carter.
Mostert, Williams.
I'm going to go Mostert.
Mostert and Likely.
Yeah. We've answered this one, but did we? Yeah, Swift.
Yeah, Swift. Deion Jackson, obviously in a good spot with his volume. Kev is higher on him in terms of his receiving potential. I'm a little bit downer, a little bit more down on that this week, but still in a solid spot depending on your other options. So go ahead, jump to the Discord if you guys have any more questions. We will be going live again at halftime of Sunday Night Football. Hope you guys have a great week 9, and we will talk to you in 9 hours. Good luck.